Hello and welcome to FPL Waffle. Sorry I haven't done a video for a while. We've had the Christmas period. Fantasy football's also been slightly frustrating of late for me with points and players and picks and working out the best teams. But I thought I'd kind of give you an update of how I've been doing and also a look ahead to future transfer plans and also a wild card sort of draft type thing that, yeah, I'm leaning towards fairly soon. So this current week I got 50 points. The week before, I don't think you saw, got 53, which was below the average. Basically, no one did anything other than the Salah captaincy. So it's been a bit dry. Son missing a penalty was disappointing for me. And then, I mean, I don't know if you saw the week before, but that was a bit better with 67. But yeah, just above the average. But yeah, this current week, I'm currently bang on the average. I've got Aina left to play tonight, who I'm hoping can get me something to make my score a little bit better. Hutchison for Bournemouth was probably my standout in terms of like differential points because Salah captaincy pretty much everyone had, Palmer everyone has, and then Isak everyone has. So not much to report. João Pedro on the bench 2 weeks running has been pain because he got 9 points this week against Arsenal and 9 points the week before. When I had him, I carried him through a wonderful fixture run. He wasn't really doing anything, and then there's a classic FPL and his two harder fixtures. He returns. So that's FPL for you this week. As it stands, um, as in the coming game week, the next game week. This is the team and how it's looking. So I'm quite simply, I think, going to do Son to Bruno Fernandes. Um, Mbeumo smashed Southampton last game. Southampton really are a team to target at the moment. And yeah, Fernandes is at home to Southampton. United played pretty well yesterday against Liverpool. Fernandes was looking good. So for me, I feel like that's the play. And then potentially the week after that, Chris Wood is at home to Southampton, and I'll have the funds, I think, to do João Pedro up to Chris Wood to get another Southampton fixture. And then beyond that, okay, we're potentially thinking about a wild card because Liverpool v Everton are going to double, and that's expected to happen. I think game week 24, game week 25. So I want to sort of do it in time for that. I want to sort out my team because at the moment it is struggling a little bit, and I just think I need a few more like reliable, solid players that are going to keep ticking over for me a little bit better. And one of the reasons I'm postponing the wild card probably for a couple more game weeks is because like why I've held fire on Burmo so far is because they've got a couple of tricky fixtures coming up, home to City, home to Liverpool. Now, why I wouldn't be surprised if Burmo got a return at home against these teams. They're not optimal fixtures to target, are they? And then there's also like a bit of a fixture swing with Villa, so Morgan Rogers will probably come back in for me, and then also maybe some Everton players for the double, or well, some maybe one, and then even here, like if I get rid of Son, I might want a Spurs player back for this little fixture on here. Um, so sort of yeah, thinking in relation to wild cards, here's roughly what it's probably going to be. So I'll probably have Pickford in goal for their double, and also Everton defence and Dyche are getting clean sheets. So I quite like him as a set and forget. Gabriel's staying; he's going nowhere because of the set piece threat and the clean sheet threat. I probably will end up moving Robinson on because I think Fulham's fixtures get a bit harder. Yeah, they do from that game week there, which is game week 23. So that's what I'll probably be looking at for the wild card game week 23. So I'll probably be bringing in Big Verge for Robinson because of that double game week, because he's nailed on for minutes. Trent had an awful performance against United, and with Bradley back, he might lose out on a few games. I'd like to keep Aina if I can, but if I can't afford him, I'll drop down to a slightly cheaper nailed Forest defender, like that's one of their centre backs. Face has been dropped for Leicester, really, and he's just not doing very well. So, as a cheaper defender, I might just go for another 4 mil or 3.9. But for now, we'll just leave him there. And Hutchison for Bournemouth's been class at 4.3. He's been getting bonus points. He's when they have better fixtures, Bournemouth, he could be a useful utility man, even just like yeah on the bench to come on when needed as well. Useful player. Palmer's going nowhere. Salah's going nowhere. I think Matoma will go. He's just not getting the returns. As much as he's a class player, he's not getting the returns. So as discussed, and Burma will definitely be coming in. Oh, that's a crikey. Look at those points, 136. Unbelievable. He'll definitely be coming in from yeah, game week 23 at the very least. If I do a wild card then. The other player I mentioned is Morgan Rogers, who's just proving a brilliant valued asset. So let's get rid of Iwobi. He's been a disaster class Iwobi for Fulham's fixture runs. He's got maybe one more game in him for me before it's bye bye. Um, And because I like Heung-min Son, and because I mentioned about Spurs, I can imagine I'll bring him back in on a wild card for this run here. Spurs are going to score goals in these games, and Son's, their talisman. He's on pens. Although he's been benched a couple of times, a bit annoyingly. Like he's going to get returns. Like because I like him, I want to just enjoy it when he does well. So he'll probably be in. And to fund that, I mean Jackson, who's been terrible for me, he'll be a goner, and we might just have someone like Stewart as a benched option. Isak's going nowhere. And João Pedro, I think, will be a good play um, because Brighton's fixtures, like, they're not terrible at all. And also, he's just great value on penalties. He's done well recently for us. He's kind of probably our talisman. Um, I think he makes sense. And it also leaves zero point 0.7 in the bank towards if I did the assistant managership. Now, a little bonus one on the assistant manager. A lot of people are thinking of doing slot for perhaps these three games. I'm not. I might still end up doing that and wildcard a week early or something. Um, this is rash, right? And it's rash because also Everton are currently discussing the future of Sean Dyche, so you can see where this is going. But for the double game week, with the way the system managership works, if a team ranked 5 places below a team in the league wins, you get bonus points. Everton love a clean sheet. And look at this little fixture on here. If I was to wildcard here in 23. And then I've got home to Leicester, away to Palace, home to United, plus the double against Liverpool, which is at Goodison Park. If Everton were to just upset a few teams, like I could see them upsetting United at home because they are good at Goodison. So 3 of these 4 games be at Goodison. Leicester aren't a great team, so they could nick a win against them. Palace aren't incredible; they could nick a result there. And then home to Liverpool, it's a big derby day. If they pulled out a world of performance, who knows? So you've got 4 fixtures, 3 of which are at home. And Dyche will probably be a bit cheaper, so I might be able to afford him as the assistant manager in this team. I don't know. I'm currently mulling it over, and I'm really tempted by it. If everything's looking sort of promising near the time, if Everton is sort of still seeming solid defensively, and I just fancy it, and it works sort of financially with my funds, I'm tempted. But if you want to play it safe, Arne Slot is probably the one, and I think this little fixture of 3 here makes so much sense. Because if they do indeed double in 24-25, you've got a double there as well. You just got to allow enough money to have him. He'll probably be 1.5 mil. I think that's how it's working. I think managers are priced between 0.5 and 1.5. Correct me if I'm wrong if you can be bothered in the comments. But yeah, there's a little wild card draft for you. I think it looks solid because every week you could pretty much play Pickford, Gabriel, Virgil, Aina. Forest been so solid defensively, and these are probably the next best defence in the league. So you got a bit of all of them and Pickford, Everton defensively and doubles, etc. I really like this midfield 5. Like they're all on penalties other than Rodgers, but he's just doing brilliantly for his value in their fixtures. Then you've got Isak, who's just been unbelievable this season. João Pedro, like pretty much all penalty takers, I think they're other than Rodgers. And obviously the defence. And the defence have attacking contributions there anyway, like Virgil's dangerous from set pieces, so is Gabriel, and Aina's been ticking over with assists and goals this year. So I'll leave the video there before it's too long in terms of the fantasy football content, but I hope there's some food for thought for you there with some of my wild card thinkings ahead that might provoke a bit of thinking for you guys. If you're sticking around for the Pokemon pack, as always, Paradox Rift. Who are we going to get? Are we going to get anyone at all worthy to write home about as we get the usual standard stuff early doors in the pack? And we got a couple of reverse hollows. Oh, we have got a good one. We've got a full art roaring moon. So we say happy days to that sort of thing. Better than usual, better than average. I'll leave it there. I do hope you have a great rest of your game week, i.e. Monday if you've got Forest or Wolves players. Assuming I've uploaded before the match. I do hope you have a good future game week. I hope you enjoy FA Cup weekend. Slight break from FPL might be a good thing. And the deadline on the Tuesday, the 14th of Jan, at least it's a midweek, a lot of Prem games. So they're coming up pretty soon again. So yeah, I'll leave it there. Please like and subscribe if you'd like to tune in for more or you like this content. It's always appreciated. But of course you don't have to if you're hating every second of it. And for now, have a good rest of your days and I'll catch you all on the next one.